Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 7 of the anime series Keijo. This one, for all intents and purposes, if you'll pardon the expression, was all about the turnip twat. Yes, that's correct. Nozomi is very much under the tutelage of Shirayuki, having been perplexed by Shirayuki's earlier criticism that something is indeed wrong with her body or something along those lines. The way she manipulates her body, she thinks it's like a cosmetic thing, accosting Miyata from the outset of the episode, stripping down bare-ass naked, buck naked, and being like, oh, is that the nipple color? Is that what's wrong? Yeah, sure. So, I mean, that's what's really going to affect your poorly, actually going up against Shirayuki in a competition and such like that. It's your nipple color. Absolutely absurd, but she's taking it so seriously. And Miyata later is like, if you would have just told me you were trying to figure out and pinpoint it was something that might be wrong with you, yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't have to do with cosmetics. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have anything to do with your looks. And of course, Shirayuki, because she has her eyes on Nozomi, this is the only real, student to the cause of Keijo that she feels has promise enough to really want to keep a special eye on her. And it all has to do with this epic in scope backdrop of East versus West. And I was glad they finally explained what exactly that was, because at first mention of it, I'm like, what is this, Japan versus the Americas? How exactly is this going to play out, And it turns out to be the two top schools, or I think it was the two only schools in all of Japan, one representing the east side of the country, one representing the west. And what is that going to entail? What kind of opponents are we going to see cropping up, going up against our main cast of characters remains to be seen, and I'm all kinds of excited and anticipating that. But, like I say, Nozomi was definitely had her challenges cut out for her. Everybody ends up in the gimp suit in this episode. They're all having a relatively easy time with it, which is really exacerbating her. And they do this river walk thing, which kind of reminded me of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. When, in the case of the game, the soon-to-be big boss is walking down this river after having, air quotes, died, and the current and everything, somehow they managed to animate it in the game so that you feel the pressure of the water as you're trying to push your way forward through it while all these spirits are attacking you. And so I was really reminded of that. The only difference being that it was twigs and branches and things that were attacking the girls. And of course, Nozomi is keeping her eye on Shirayuki to try to gauge what exactly it is that answers to her capabilities that led her to so easily beat Nozomi in the previous episode. And she's like using her boobs and the twisting of her body to knock these twigs and branches the hell out of Dodge, left, right, and center. And Nozomi's trying to give it her best shot for her part, but not until the very end of trying does she land on how exactly to go about it, to the point where she knocks some big twigs and branches the hell out of the way. And this just is, the first baby steps on her journey to pinpointing what exactly it is Shirayuki meant by something is wrong with your body, or you're doing something wrong with your body. And it's very much sort of the pendulum effect, whereas we saw in a previous episode, blonde rapey girl, whose name I haven't learned as of the time of this recording, even still, with the boob hypnotism, she could use that pendulum effect with her chest. Well, there's something along those lines going on where Nozomi needs to pinpoint with her buttocks, in as far as taking these turnips out of the ground whole. She's not able to do it for the longest time. And even blonde rapey girl gets involved. She's like, she apparently is not aware or familiar with the term bad touch, because she's immediately, slipping her hand under Nozomi's shirt and like, hey, I'll tell you in bed later what you need to do and all this kind of stuff. When she's begging and pleading this blonde woman to tell her how she could do it, how she could pull a turnip whole out of the ground in one go, in her first try, It's like, geez, man. And for Nozomi's part, I mean, she is open to learning. She's almost ready. She's almost exacerbated to the point of quitting. But then when she realizes, oh, Shirayuki, this is really gracious of her as a professional player with all of these things that, responsibilities she has, matches that are still oncoming, training of her own body and everything like that, for her to sort of gift her time to Nozomi, that really means something special. That's really something big. So Nozomi is like, no, I got to keep this going, and I love the sort of Shawshank-esque, it starts raining as Nozomi's like finally figuring out what she needs to do. And with the grand clearing up of the rain and the rainbow to signify she's finally aligned what she needs to do. She needs to utilize the muscles, not treat them as extra baggage, not treat them as extra weight. She has to actually put them into motion. It's like, how far along did you have to go to realize, you know, I'm building up this muscle. Oh, use them. You know, what was the point of building them up? In any case, Nozomi, for her part, she figures it out, and she's suddenly pulling those turnips out of the ground, and this is what everyone's eating, like, because she's pulled so many out, even all the broken ones, you know. Shirayuki's like, anyone we break, we buy, you know, that kind of thing, and I'm just like, man, I would not have eaten a single plate of that crap, you know, but, I love toward the end, we had, you know, when Gropey Girl, you know, gets all on Nozomi at that one point, did we see Usagi once again with the rabbit ears and all, and she's like, when given the opportunity, pick your opponent for the next upcoming sort of practice match, this practice run. We have Usagi raising her hand and being like, I want Nozomi, you know? She's so pointedly pissed at Nozomi because of all the attentions, all the affections the blonde lady, you know, rapey hands is given to Nozomi. So it's going to be really interesting that, hopefully highly hilarious. I really liked, once again in this episode, also pinpointing Miyata's whole family situation again and seeing Nozomi is in support of her, saying, you know, you called home when they're all given tickets because they want to have their families invited and everything to see this big East versus West, you know, matchup and everything like that. And it looks like Miyata is really saddened by that because she called home, and much as she tells Nozomi, you know, her father didn't want to get on the line, answering to my speculation that he is a judo sensei, and here his daughter has run off to be part of Keijo, you know, leaving behind this thing she's been training all her life, judo, you know, for. So, of course, there is some estrangement there, and Nozomi with the kind words just saying, you know, once they see you in a cute swimsuit kicking all kinds of ass, hopefully your father and mother, they'll appreciate your choices in life, your career choice, whatever you want to call it, and scholastic choice, that kind of thing. And hopefully they'll come a-calling and they'll want to see you in action. And I kind of hope that's the case, you know? For as absurd as this show is, for as, you know, just crazy off the wall and all the fan servicey locker room stuff, and you know, again, rapey hands and everything like that, for all the absurdity and hilarity, there is a center to this. There is a heart to this and its characters and its characterization. And I appreciate it for, you know, as little as they can fit in with all the boobs and butt stuff on the outskirts. And butt flash is the move Shirayuki wanted to teach, you know, Nozomi. As a DC Comics fan, I'm just like, oh, it's Barry Asson. Okay, so for those who didn't get that, his real name is Barry Allen. Anyway, yeah, this episode was crazy, insane as usual, hilarious as usual, and bring on the next. Otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well. I'll catch you all later. Peace.